wedding. So was it Lula Ruth or Cora Ruth?
No, she used. Well, the name Cora came up was because when she was working, she used Aunt Cora's first name
Okay.
for some reason or another. I don't know why. But
Okay.
anyway, I didn't even know her name was Lula until after she died, I guess.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, she was just always known as Ruth, so I didn't know.
Okay. So I saw because I think I saw on Ancestry the death certificate said Cora Ruth Leak, and I said, "Oh, I didn't realize that her name was Cora too." So that makes
But it wasn't.
okay. All right.
Her name was not Cora. It was Lula Ruth.
Okay, but she just went by Cora for.
But she really never went by Cora except for work.
Oh, okay. Oh,
For her employment, she went by Cora.
okay. Uh, but so your dad was LT Lee. Was James what he went by?
I'm sorry.
I said it has James in parentheses. What for your dad's name? Was that what he went by? A different nickname?
Well, well, I don't know. It's the stories that I hear is that when they was from the South, and like my brother James, his name was actually JC. But when he started school, he couldn't use that JC. He had to have a name, so that was James Calvin. Mother named him James Calvin. But that was after he came to New York to start his school. So with my father, his name was LT, but he went by James.
Okay.
Um, the fondest memories of my mom was on every Tuesday, my mother would take me to the movie. Just me, not the boys, just me. And we would have that time together. And it was like Tuesdays was ladies' night. And we would get dishes. So I'd get a dish and she'd get a dish. And she built up her dishes that way.
Okay.
That was one of the memories, nice memories I had. We had that time, just her and I together.
Mhm.
Well, mother sent us south every year. I guess when they was having the family reunions, and we would go down there. But then when I got up, I guess maybe about 8. I guess I was about 8, and so my brothers and I were sent south. Well, actually, Cora took us. No, Mama took us south, and Cora brought us back in September because it was time for school. So every year on June 30th was the last day of school in New York. And so by the 2nd or the 3rd of July, we was in South Carolina. And we stayed until the week before school, I think. So like around the 30th, the end of August. I think we stayed to like the end of August. And then we would come back.
Okay.
And that was a good time in my life because each year that I went, up until I was about 13, when Aunt Ezel didn't want me coming back no more. But it was really interesting because I was able, like when you had the summer vacations, when you go back to school, you had to write about your experience of what you did over the summer. And I had a lot to write about. Each year I had something new. And as I was telling Tracy about the chicken, um, this is the first time I'd ever seen a chicken killed. My grandfather took the little hatchet and chopped the chicken's head off, and the chicken was just running around the yard with no head. And then Grandpa, he got the chicken, he caught the chicken, and they put the chicken in the boiling water, and then they made me, I didn't want to do it, they made me pick off some of the feathers, off the chicken, and then they fried the doggone chicken and wanted me to eat it. I would not eat it. I would not eat chicken. And I didn't eat chicken for a long time. That's the truth. I
I
didn't
remember
eat
you saying that.
for a long time. And then Aunt Cora, she would take Aunt Cora would take me to the movies. Also, like the the Three Little Pigs. I remember going to the movies and she's taking me to see the Three Little Pigs. And what I would do is write Grandpa. I would write Grandpa a letter. And I was 7, 8, 9 years old. And write Grandpa a letter to tell him the story of the Three Little Pigs. I remember that. But I wrote him, and then when I go down south, I tell him, personally the story. And I remember I can see it just as plain, sitting on his knee, telling him that story about the Three Little Pigs. And he just was so lovable. He was just my grandpa.
Up north,
The only, and that was another thing was with the segregation that they had down south. Like when we was traveling, you had the colored and then the white, and that was kind of confusing for me, because in New York, I mean, we was just Right. So I that was confusing for me for a long time.
So you talked about going down south, and my family used to send me down south too. I'm from Connecticut. Um, was it just your siblings, or did other cousins get sent down south too for the summer?
Well, when we went, it was just us. But that's why I'm really close to like Wilhelmina's family and all, because we just became sisters and brothers actually at the time. But other cousins came down, I suppose they did, I don't remember. They came down during the family, when we had the reunion, when we had but we were down there, before that time and whatever.
Okay. So do you have memories, and you just talked about cousin Wilhelmina, what did your parents do to keep you connected to their siblings, which would be your aunts and uncles and their children, your cousins? Did they do anything to make sure that you kept in contact with them?
Yeah. Well, mother always took us around the family. Like always, we went to Bristol, where Aunt Prudence lived, and on let's see, I don't think when my Uncle James died, I guess when Uncle James died, I was like 6. And Uncle James died, she'd take us to Roanoke, Virginia. And when Mother didn't take us, Aunt Cora did. So we went to Pennsylvania. We went to all the family. That's how I know the family as well as I do, because we was always taken around the family.
Okay.
Because when I was president of the family reunion, we had, I guess, Roanoke, Virginia had their first reunion. Okay. So I went down, I think, and I didn't know them. I knew of them, and I hadn't seen them, I guess, since Uncle James died. Okay, because they were Uncle Osby and Uncle James's siblings. Their siblings. No, not their siblings.
Oh,
Their
when you say
father was
Uncle James, is that Willie James?
Uncle Willie James.
Okay.
Yeah, Uncle Willie. Yeah.
We got a whole bunch of James and Johns in here. Just want to make sure it's the same one.
Oh, but anyway, I went down there a little early. I think maybe a couple of days earlier, before the reunion, and I didn't really know them, but they were and I love them. I love them so much now. I just do. They welcomed me, and I mean, they just showed me love. And sometimes, because I've always been a person that I don't know. I guess self-conscious or I don't know what you would call it. But anyway, I didn't know how I was going to be received. You know, and they just show so much love, and I love them to today. They know that too. They all know I just love them. And that's been a while ago. That was their first reunion that they gave. And the reunion was just, it was very large. We had a lot of people. And we also had a whole lot of people in Indianapolis in our reunion. So those two are about the ones that stand out.
Okay. Do you remember any of the Pyles children?
I remember, but at that time, I just took them as part of our family. My hopes is that the family reunion continues. I was just so elated when you decided that you would take it on for 2024. And I just hope, I don't know that I'll even be here in 2024, but I do hope that the young people, and that's why I'm saying you and Tracy are doing such a wonderful job, because you're bringing, and I tell you, tears, I'm sorry, I get a little emotional, but I just hope that the young people will keep this going. And you're doing such a wonderful job bringing them in through the Facebook and the Zoom and everything. You're doing a wonderful job. I am really so proud of you. I love you. I really do. Because I really and truly felt in my heart that this family reunion was going to end in 2022.
Yeah.
I really did, and I don't call her Wilhelmina, I call her sis. Sis would call me and say, well, I haven't heard nothing, and da-da-da-da. And I just thought it was just going to be such a failure. And I was looking so forward after she decided, her and the president decided that we're going to go ahead and have it anyway. We're going to have it. I was so looking forward to being there, and just things happen. I mean, they just happened, and I couldn't come, and that broke my heart, but I'm glad it went on, and it went on well.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Well, and there were more people there than Sis and I even imagined that would be there, and so that was just good. And I just hope and pray that it continues with the generation after my generation, and this is so important. It's really so important.
Yes.
And for you all to go back, all the way back to the 1800s and whatever, that is so amazing. It's really, really amazing. And it's wonderful. And now, once you get caught up, you can continue. Just continue on, And that's my prayers for the family reunion. And for the family, actually, not just the reunion, the family needs to get more and more in touch with one another, to stay in touch, make telephone calls, send a card, whatever, that way you get closer together. And then when family reunion time comes, it's really a family reunion.
Exactly.